Hey guys, Jake Back Knives. Just figured I would give a quick shop update. Haven't been doing a whole lot of video work here, just been doing the machine shop thing, keeping things super busy, and it's been total chaos. Tonka wants to say hello. Sit, sit, go boy. Shop dogs. They are a necessity of life and sometimes an annoyance. Giving you a quick look around the shop. Some stuff we just can't really show. Been doing a lot of just kind of random machine shop stuff, some military law enforcement stuff I can't really talk about or show, but working on a lot of new knife projects, and really just trying to dial in a process and improve the way we do things around the shop. Still pretty small scale operation. I'm sure some of you think that we have many people working for us. We have outsourced machining, and then we also have a handful of people that come in and out of the shop. I've got one full-time guy here in the shop helping me, and then we've got some part-time people that come in here and there. So realistically, in the shop here in Idaho, we're pretty small. We don't do a ton of custom stuff anymore, so when you see it, it's it's not the past of where we do 15 or 20 at a time. Sometimes we're only doing one or two knives and then kind of move on from there. Right now we're just working on a couple of projects on the Kitamira. Love this machine, by the way. It's old, it's a 2001. I didn't have to pay a great deal of money for it. It was expensive. I think I've got like 40 or 50 grand into it by the time I've got it tooled up. But in the grand scheme of machinery, it's a 2001, so it's not like crazy new. It runs Fanuc operating system, which is pretty old. Took me a while to figure out how to use it, especially switching over from the PC-based computer systems on Tormachs. But I figured it out. I think I actually spent like a week sitting in front of this thing just trying to figure out tool offsets, and I'm not joking. I stood in front of this console for 10 hours a day for 5 days to figure out how to do tool length offsets, how to turn it on, and how to zero a fixture. It was, yeah, I've got a few more gray hairs because of that. And then kind of moving on, we're just working on a couple of little prototype projects over here, turning some pivot stuff on the lathe, good old 14-inch Logan. Putting this Tormach up for sale. So if anybody's interested in buying a Tormach, this was our first. Still got a lot of life left into it. It just can't leave the shop right now because there's 4 feet of snow on the ground and I can't get it out of here. So cleaned it up, did some repair work to it, just had a couple of air fittings that were bad. And then here, as soon as breakup happens with all the snow and ice, I will list it up for sale. So, you probably see a video on that. Still functions correctly and properly. So, good starter machine. I've got 2 of them. This one is been dedicated to murdering Smurfs, as you can tell. And right now I think we're just running some low tolerance work, doing some engravings on pocket clips. Yeah, as you can tell, hopefully the GoPro is picking up the Smurf murdering escapades that this has gone through. Blue G10 is interesting to machine. We dedicated this older Tormach to that. Yeah, so that's probably not even close to it, but we definitely have been improving the shop. Got a couple of boards here that I worked on, so I can't really show the whole process, just because it's got some proprietary information, but we've been working on some visual kind of Kanban, so to speak, or visual manufacturing boards, and then recently started dialing in Microsoft Project, which is kind of an interesting thing. I've been really enjoying that. Definitely has been making some improvements to our processes and our setup in the shop, so enjoying that. And then, you know, just error proofing and video ideas and stuff like that. You know, shop improvements. We just have a little whiteboard, and everybody that comes into the shop, you know, everybody that works here at least, we always just tell everybody, hey, you know, if you have an improvement or something you'd like to see that would make your life easier, you know, write it on the board. Yeah, so, you know, not quite at the John Saunders and Grimsmo and Pearson lean manufacturing, you know, setup, but we're working on it. We've got setup sheets. You know, shop's a little bit dirty at the moment, but you know, we're working through. The old Brown and Sharp 1934 surface grinder. This sucker has been with me for 7 or 8 years now. Still doesn't skip a beat. Still can grind something down to a 1/10 and still holds up good. Wilmot grinder, still plugging away. The old baby eater, 3 or 5 horsepower ridiculousness that we use for grinding bevels. Sandblasters. I did buy a tumble blaster about 6-8 months ago. Haven't had a great deal of a chance to put it through its paces. We've used it quite a bit. I definitely cannot recommend this company. They're not a great company to deal with, but the tumble blaster itself works reasonably well. It took some slight modifications to get it to work for small knife parts, but that's not the fault of the manufacturer. It's more of just the fault of, you know, being a knife maker. But if you throw a little tumbler media in there and a couple of zip ties in the back, it really helps keep the parts rotating. That's been that was a challenge when we first got this thing. I expected to just be able to toss parts in there, turn it on, and have them sandblasted, but it doesn't quite work that way. The media helps keep the parts from sticking to the back, and then the zip ties kind of do something similar. And that's really made a big difference. Significant improvement in how much manpower we need for sandblasting parts, which is fantastic. Because sandblasting, nobody likes sandblasting. Don't lie to me. Nobody likes sandblasting. So anytime we can improve something by keeping your arms and your face plastered to this and moving it over to just tossing 15 or 20 parts into this and turning it on, yeah, we're definitely going to do that. But you just crank the handle. It's got a little timer on the side and a light switch, and then it's got a blasting nozzle here, and it just does its thing. The media is not for like giving it a tumble. The media is just to keep the parts from sticking together and sticking to the back side of it. Zip ties, I was zip tying like through a hole in a part, and that would just hang up. You know, typically we put a zip tie on a part before we throw it in the tumbler to, you know, keep it from sticking to the sides, but just that process does not work for this. So I'll probably do a separate review video on this, but again, I cannot recommend this Cyclone manufacturing company. I gotta be honest, they have terrible customer service. I mean, the thing showed up on a UPS freight truck, and, you know, just a small venting or leakage of sort, but, you know, I go down and pick it up out of the freight truck, and, you know, the side was all bent up, the door was busted off, you know, it'd been dropped or knocked against. It wasn't terrible, but it was enough that I noticed it pretty quickly. So I opened the package, confirmed what was damaged, took pictures of the whole thing, sent it over to them, and they wouldn't even respond to me. It took several phone calls to finally get them to respond, and then they act like it was my fault. I'm like, come on, people. I just spent $1,600 with you. You could at least fix it. So begrudgingly, they finally sent me a new door and pretty much told me to pound sand after that. So, yeah, you know, buyer beware. At any rate, the machine works as advertised, so other than some shipping damage that they didn't want to cover, you know, we got it handled. And still have to figure out what to do with the chip conveyor, because all of our chips are so small they don't fit in it, but we do some aluminum jobs where a chip conveyor would be convenient, so I'm not sure. working on a new machine over here I designed. So it's a kind of surface slash disc grinder. So keep that in mind. We'll see that soon. Well, hey, pleasure having you guys in the shop. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks.